Hello, welcome to SwitchedOn Gaming. Paul speaking. Welcome to a look at a brand new Nintendo Switch game. This is King's Bounty 2. This comes from Koch Media and releases on the 24th of August, so it should be out tomorrow on the eShop. It costs $59.99 and £54.99 and is releasing day on day alongside the other console and PC versions, which I always love to see. So big props to the devs and publishers for getting this out on the Switch alongside those. We're going to start, just have a quick overview at the start of the game, then we're going to jump into some later gameplay. Show you what this one's all about. It's a story-driven RPG with tactical combat. Imagine my sort of takeaway from this so far, the sort of the around about 5 to 10 hours I've put in so far of this. We've got a code quite late, so haven't had time to crunch too much time into it, but imagine something like Skyrim crossed with Fire Emblem, something a little bit along those lines. You've got a sort of half Skyrim sort of exploration and 3D sort of world to explore, and then the game switches to tactical grid-based combat, or hex-based combat, but it's all very similar, but really good. So you start the game picking from one of these three characters. We've got Avar, who's a warrior, Catherine, the mage, and Elisa, the paladin. I went with Catherine for my playthrough, the mage. A little bit of backstory there, and also it tells you what talents they have as well. You can unlock these as the game goes on. We'll just we'll start this game with Avar and just show you the introduction, some of the introduction video. So as I say, I've had this a little while. Really been enjoying it. It's long story short, to get to the point of the sort of overview or review, as you will. It's as you'd expect in terms of performance and visuals. I think, considering it's on the Switch and the scale of the game, I'm pleased with it. It can be a little bit blurry sometimes, especially in handheld, and there's a little bit of popping, but I think generally the scale of the game is excellent, and it hasn't hampered my gameplay experience one little bit. In fact, it's like one of those games where it's kind of a wow factor that it's on the Switch at all, and you kind of take the visual downgrades a little bit just to have this handheld. I've played this sort of on the move.
Are you really going to save
and I've also played it on the TV.
Say?
What's your angle?
You can discuss it with Warden Valber. Come out of that cell. I'll escort you.
And what if I refuse?
Let's go. You know the Warden doesn't like to be kept waiting. The sooner you get to his office, the sooner you'll learn everything. I can tell you this much. It's good news for you.
So this is the start of the game, and it's kind of serves as a little tutorial in so much as you can learn the controls, walk around. You follow the guard out to your eventual escape. I mean, it's not a spoiler. It's kind of the very start of the story. You get released from prison to help save the land. So again, very much Skyrim-ish. You've got your money and magic at the top. Left-hand corner, you've got a compass map at the top, pointing to your next objective. Quests on the right-hand side, and you can press the left button on the D-pad to bring up all your quest information. And then while you're in here, you can flick through all the different things. You've got a map. First two are like gear and your army that you start to amass. These are your talents, like your skill tree. And so the quest there, you can flick through, and you can kind of, activate different quests from here, depending which one you want to do. And then the map here. Map's really quite large. Got no problem on the scale of the game at all. There's plenty of quick travel points as well. Bottom corner, you've got your army. Once you start to amass it, we'll figure it out a little bit later. So that's the start of the game. Going to jump into some of my gameplay now and show you how this one plays, how the combat works, and some more of my thoughts. So bear with me while I switch over. So this is my save game, and again, apologies, I haven't been able to put in as much time as I liked. We only got these codes late last Tuesday, so practically Wednesday. I had a really busy week and was away all weekend, so my time in this has been really limited. We're looking at sort of 5 or 6 hours, unfortunately. So I can't atone to how the game story plays out too much, but what I can tell you is what I've played so far, I've absolutely enjoyed. And even though I've had quite a lot of games to look at this week, I try and play this as much as I can because I've just enjoyed it so much. I'm a big fan of sort of turn-based tactical games as well. but also this sort of 3D exploration is really cool as well. So definitely one I'm going to keep playing. So this is kind of the Skyrim-y part of it. Your main character here. As I say, the graphics a little bit blurry on the Switch, kind of as you'd expect, because look at the scale of this game. There's just, you know, a huge world map. We start over here as we started the main game in the prison up here, and we've travelled through this little village here. We've done some stuff over here, then in another village, a bit of exploration up here and some combat. And then unlock this big area over here. It's like another big castle. So I've done quite a bit. I've played quite a lot, as much as I can, as I say. These are fast travel points, so there's going to be plenty of fast travel points. There's also this kind of portal as well, which transports you around the map at certain times. There's also a horse you can call as well. So let's have a look at the quick quest that we've got here. We're doing, currently we are doing the Cold Shoulder. We need to find the Batil Gates guards. Hopefully we can get into some combat and I can show you how that works. So you get a little bit of blurb, and what's really cool, the blurb on the right for the quest, in the diary part, as you meet other people and progress the quest, this fills up. So if you ever want a reminder, you can go back, you know, if you come back to a save game, you can go back and read through these sort of short paragraphs and catch up with what you've done so far on the quest, which I really, really like, because sometimes you just save your game for a couple of days, come back and you just don't know where you are. So really cool feature. And you got your rewards at the bottom there, 5,000 gold, 200 XP points. We can have a look at the other points up here on the menu bar now at the top. We've got our army. Now this is another unique thing. You know, you're basically the hero character, but you don't actually necessarily get your hands dirty in combat. You can use some of your skills in combat, but it's mainly about, as you travel around, buying an army and building them up. So at the moment I've got archers and spearmen in my army, but if you go to like a, for the want of a better word, a recruiter's shop, you can add new recruits to your army, and there's things like wolves and magicians and healers and all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. And finally, here's your equipment. Now what I haven't really figured out yet is that when you start the game you can buy a weapon. I bought a crossbow, but I don't know why, because I've never used it, so I don't know how you use your weapons or what the point of them is. So it's quite an interesting thing. But we have got these research scrolls here. We can research one of these. Let's research the arcane vortex. That's already been researched. So we've got a different outfit, relics and miscellaneous stuff. You can sort those there. And the gear you can see we've got equipped over here. We've got a crossbow. And then we found some armour quite early on to protect ourselves with. But as I say, once it gets into combat, you just drop into this turn-based thing. So I'm not quite sure yet why we're doing that. So let's go to the next thing. We're going to ring the bell. I did see a bell round about here. Yeah, it's this belt over here. Can we get to that? Let's give that a little ting-a-ting. So, quest updated.
You, hold right there.
All voice
Let's
acted
see
as
your
well.
letter of passage. Now.
Ooh. Dirty swine. Oof.
Have at them,
Ambush.
boys. Take no prisoners.
So we're going to switch into some tactical combat now. When you're out in the field, there's like a ring of terror on the ground. If you step into, then it sort of goes into combat. So you can avoid it if you want to, if you just walk around the ring. So you can see here the basically the matchup screen. We've got on the right hand side, we've got the enemy under the red flag. You can see they've got quite a big army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of units, and plenty of them. We've only got 1 archer and 3 spearmen, and you can see at the top there gives you a good idea of how the combat's going to go. So it says here, undefeatable enemy. So we really don't want to fight this enemy. We've got to try and retreat. I don't know if we're going to be able to get past this part. See here, this is the ring of combat. So we really need to find some way of recruiting some soldiers. We'll have to come back to that. So if we hold down Y, we can whistle for our horse. A bit like something like Red Dead Redemption. It will just magically appear. So we're going to have to head back out of the castle and try and find some recruits. See if we can pick up an easy fight as well, just to show you how the combat works. Oh, what's this in here? Oh, good old sniff around. Let's have a look. What else we got? Anything obviously flashing gold here you can interact with. So we've got a city map. That'll come in handy.
I need to think about it, I guess. The missing parts must be nearby.
Yeah. So we've got an elevator, but we're missing some parts. But say you can't really, you can't break crates and that kind of thing with a sword because you haven't really got anything that you can do combat-wise. So we'll have a little sniff around quick, but won't spend too much time. If we can't find anything, we'll just get on our merry way. I think if we get out into the we'll get out into the larger world, because it is really nice. We're kind of in a bit of a dingy castle here, so it doesn't look particularly great. Oh, that's a recruiter over there, I think. So we can try and get some more recruits. Yeah, here we go. So we got like dogs. Dogs of war, more archers, healers. So how much money have we got? We've only got 579, so we're not going to be able to get much at all. Probably do need a healer, but we're only going to be able to get one. We could get another archer. Spearman, we can only get one more. If you look on the left hand side there, we've got 3 of our 4 slots filled with them. Of course, I see as well the little smiley faces, a morale system as well, which is pretty cool. So you've got to keep your morale of your army up. And archers are pretty good. How much are archers? 200. We can only get one of those, and we're not going to be able to afford anything else, are we? Well, we've added to our army a little bit, but it's not ideal. This is a fast travel portal. Can't remember if we've already unlocked this. Might be able to go back down here and take on this side quest. Here's the witch stone. Let's just let's not fast travel. Let's just have a walk around with our horse. As you get in these sort of big RPG games, this is like different biomes as well. We're obviously in some sort of snowy biome at the moment, but we started off in, a foresty kind of realm. But as I say, the graphics, people are going to probably leave comments below saying the graphics are trash. I don't think they're too bad at all in terms of being able to play this portable. We should be used to it by now. It is the trade-off we get. Some games you are going to get a downgrade. Just the resolution looks really low. Maybe this is like 540 or 480, something like that. It is pretty low, but I think it adds a nice sort of grimy look to the world. What's over here? I want to find us some random combat to get involved with. So bear with. Oh, there's a portal through there. What I'll do is I'll spin forward and try and find some combat, save you having to watch me trudge around in the snow, and just so I can show you what that's all about. What I'm going to do is head back to that castle and just take on that fight there. Now we've got some more recruits. But I just wanted to show you this as well. There's loads of little hidden areas in the overworld map where you can pick up rewards. So we've got a bit more gold there. So maybe when we go back to the castle we can snag another recruit. Got some pearls there. Got another spell that we can learn. Love a load of gold. So you always got to look at on the map to see if there's any little cutaways in trees and little caves, stuff like that. It's really cool. There's a little camping area. Let's fast travel back to the castle. And take on that fight. We've got 517, so let's get some more recruits what we can. Let's get another spearman, and let's get these dogs of war. Oh, we can't get dogs of war. 300. Yeah, we get another archer. So there we go. So let's go and take on this battle. I'm going to change our quest actually to the cold shoulder. We're heading in the right direction. So anyway, you see this sort of yellow ring on the floor, you step inside that and it triggers the combat. So now we've switched to the outcomes now says a deadly enemy rather than an unbeatable enemy, because we've got some more recruits. I mean, I absolutely don't expect to win this fight just because we are outnumbered and they are level 4 and we're level 2, but it's going to give you an idea of how the combat works. So we start off with this grid overview, and we get to deploy our units first. We can zoom in and out with the ZL, ZR buttons, tilt the camera, but this part is all about good placement. You can see here the numbers on the banners as well. This is the initiative order, so this is the turn order for the combat. So they're gonna go first with their deserters here. I don't know where number 2 is, but basically that's how it works. They've probably got another unit hidden away. So number 2 is over in that corner there, top corner. So they're going to have a few moves before we even get to have a go. You know, our unit is number 5, so that's how the initiative works. So we're going to probably want our healers somewhere backwards a little bit. Our spearmen at the front, leading the charge. We can leave our archers a little bit further back because they've got some distance. Start round 1. Now combat does move pretty quickly. You have got a setting that you can adjust the speed of the combat, but here come the deserters. They're moving them, coming down the left hand flank with that unit. Gone into a defensive mode. Oh wow. So their archery team just completely obliterated our healers, and now you can see the numbers here have switched because it will always show like the number 1 who's next. So once this unit goes here, these archers go, the number 1 will switch to, and it's going to sound confusing, but the number 1 number will then switch to this unit over here who's currently number 2, just so you always know who's going first and who's next in line, which took a while to get used to, but is actually a really good idea. So each unit can move and fight, so we can fire on our deserters over here. We've also got special abilities along the bottom bar that we can unlock. We've got, first of all, if we're down on the D-pad, is the book of spells that you can use with your hero character, and you can use these at any time as long as you've got enough mana. In the top left hand corner we've got 8. You can see there the burning ray takes 2, healing seems to be no mana needed for that. Stone skin costs 5, so you've only got a certain amount of uses in a round of combat, but really useful, and they come from your hero unit, Catherine, over here. Each unit also has its own special ability. So our archers here, left on the D-pad, have got this flaming arrow ability. So it deals 39 damage and inflicts burning debuff on an enemy unit. So that's good as well. But again, it's got limited use. It's got a cooldown, I believe. No cooldown on that one. But some of them do have cooldowns on. And our spearmen here, we can't switch to them yet, but we'll have a look at those in a sec. So I think first of all we're going to try this flaming arrow into the deserters. We haven't taken them out, but it leaves them with burning. But you can see there, as we hover over the deserters, the health bar there, we've barely scratched them really. So we are going to get absolutely mullered in this combat. We can press minus to put the archers into a defense mode. We don't want to move them. So they move their next unit. The ones that were labelled as number 2 were next to move. So you can see there the number 1 initiative has now moved to our spearmen, so we know who's next to move. So we're going to move these into here and try and take care of these deserters. You can see on the as we hover over the deserters, you can see there's kind of like a light red bar at the end of their health bar. That's the sort of prediction of how much damage that we're going to do. Again, it's barely going to take them down to half health because we're just not strong enough for this combat scenario, but it shows you how it works. So we move our spearmen in now. Bit of a melee. And that's the end of the first round of combat. So we've been debuffed to weakened. Fight with our deserters. So initiative is now with our archers. Now we can we could heal our spearmen. Let's try that. Let's try the book of spells. We go across to healing spell. I'm going to put that on our spearmen. So that gives them a little bit of health back, but not enough. Our archers, we can move. We need like a clear line of sight, so I don't know if we could get past here. So we're going to move the archers over to here, so they've got a clear line of sight into these swordmen. Again, barely scratches the surface. We need to really level up. And they're probably going to be killed off. Oh, one plucky archer survives. A spearman, we can get into these deserters again. We can also move. We try and maybe... Oh, we can't get past them. So we'll just go into a defensive mode. But that's the last of our archers taken care of. There's a little monument to them. We killed one of their units off. I mean, we could try and run away, but the trouble is this archery team got such long distance. They're hitting us from, you know, a long way away. We really probably need to get into cover. Let's try and move our team into some cover, but no, we got beaten. So I wasn't expecting to win that combat, but it does give you some idea of how that works. Now, when you lose combat like that, whatever units you lose, you then have to replenish from the shop, so you know you can't just immediately try again. We were defeated there, so you have to go and find another way of powering back up again. So it is a really tricky game in terms of combat. You really have to be careful in terms of placement and how you match up against people. So I wouldn't normally have taken that combat on at all because I knew we were severely outmatched, but I just wanted to show you how the combat worked. So there you go, that's King's Bounty 2. As I say, unfortunately I've not got that far in it, but I really, really like it. Hopefully it's given you an idea of how it runs and looks on the Switch and what sort of game it is if you've had your eye on this one. I know a few people like the original King's Bounty, from what I've read on Twitter, that have been tweeting me. It's 1990 the original game came out, so this sequel has been sort of 31 years in the making, so quite amazing really. But I think the devs and publishers have done a great job to get it out on the Switch. I'm really pleased they have. It's a cool game, and one that I'm gonna keep playing and see how it unfolds. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe if you're new. Leave me a comment below what you think about this one if you're picking it up, and I will see you all next time. Cheers everyone. Bye bye.